Hello, Algebra 2. Today we're going to discuss 1.3, quick review of solving linear equations. A couple vocab terms, just in case you have forgotten. So last time we were talking about expressions. If you put an equal sign between two expressions, then what you have is an equation. So it might be something, like 3x plus 2 equals 7. So anything that has an equal sign is now officially an equation. We're going to start out pretty basic talking about linear equations. And linear equations are something that you can write in the ax equals b form. Okay, where x is your variable, so we're just going to have one variable right now. And the question comes, well, how can you solve for that one variable? And so here we have the 4 transformations that you can do to produce an equivalent equation. So that means these are the 4 things you can do to an equation and it remains a true statement. Okay? So these kind of go hand in hand here. Addition property and subtraction property, you can add and or subtract the same number from both sides. And it has to be the same number. So you can think of like a balance, and to keep a balance balanced, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Right, so one of those balances kind of like that. Right, if I add 7 to one side, I better add 7 to the other side, and it remains balanced. And then also multiplication property and division property, same thing. You can multiply or divide both sides by the same number. And if we get into the technical details there, division property does say that you have to divide by a non-zero number, because remember, no, you can't divide by 0. That's going to give you an undefined value. Okay, but remember, it is okay to have 0 on top. That's going to give you 0. So technically, the division property says you have to divide by a non-zero number. I don't know why we divide by 0 anyway, so we'll just leave it with that. Okay, let's work out an example here. We got 2 of them actually. So if you have a variable on both sides, your first step needs to be to get the variables to one of the sides, and it doesn't matter which side, but you might try to get a positive variable. So here I'm going to subtract 4n. That's going to undo that 4n on the right. And then so the 4n minus 4n on the right, 4n minus 4n is going to cancel. And on the left, I'm going to have 8n minus 3 equals 21. So once you get your variable on one side, you want to get your constant on the other side. So my variable is on the left. My constant needs to be on the right. So add 3 to both sides. The 3's cancel. We're going to get 8n equals 24. And our last step, if I want n by itself, we're going to divide by 8, because 8 divided by 8 is 1, so we get 1n equals 3. And remember, the great thing about algebra is you can check each one of these. Plug 3 in for both ends, and make sure that your two sides are equivalent. And you should do that if you make sure that you have the right answer. One more example, and this time we brought in some parentheses. So anytime that you're looking at that variable right outside of the parentheses, we're probably going to start with distributive property. So we'll distribute the 5x minus 10, and then we're going to distribute a negative 4. Okay, so watching your signs here, that's going to give us negative 8x minus 28, and then plus x at the end. Anytime that you have like terms, you always want to combine your like terms. 5x minus 10 equals negative 7x minus 28. So notice negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. So now we're to the step we were on the previous problem. You want to get your x's on the same side, so I'm going to add 7x because that cancels with a negative 7x. And that's going to give me a positive x. Okay, so since my variable is on the left, I'm going to put my constant on the right. And that gives me 12x equals negative 18. And our last step here, divide by 12. Now, I want you to reduce this fraction. Don't put it in your calculator and give me a decimal. I want a reduced fraction, and an improper fraction is awesome. So 6 goes into both of those. 6 goes into 18 3 times, and 6 goes into 12 twice. And that is how I would like your answer. Okay, that's it. We'll finish up in class. Have a great day.